realized that I really had a real good self-care activity in place at work. I would walk at lunchtime. Downtown DC is beautiful just to walk around at lunchtime, especially on a nice day. And I really realized that I missed that so much. So I had to start building in time to work out. I now work out at 5:00 in the morning. And since I don't have to hop on the train and do all that, I feel more able to do that now. I don't think I would really do that non-pandemic. But it definitely has also been a challenge with having a first grader at home. I'm also in the first grade. And that has been challenging because, like I said, you go to work and you kind of just drop them off and forget about them until you pick them up. And I no longer am able to forget about her during the day.
How are you doing in first grade?
Awesome. I just got a great grade on my book report.
But I think that's true. I think our experience, it is impacted based on the ages of our children. It's like my son is 13. Even if I'm not out the bed, he is up, he's logged in, he can kind of make his own breakfast. He can handle technical issues versus if your children are younger, like you said, you can't work and then also help them when they're really young. So I do think the age does impact the experience.
That's so true, Jay. And the other side to that, because I have a 13-year-old and she's very independent, what I found was we're all in our own compartments during the day. And I had to be intentional about the time to spend with them. Unlike yourself, who, you were able to get up and spend time with them all the time. I'm working in my corner. She's in her corner. I had to set dates. We have date nights where we come together and read together and do things. So I had to do that during the pandemic because actually, even though we were in the same house, I think we were kind of taking our presence for granted. So I had to carve out intentional time, like, you were sharing earlier, to spend with her.
I really appreciated hearing all these great stories and just the logistics that you go through. I find even as an educator, there was definitely some benefit to being at home, although I know there are challenges associated with that as well. But family time allowed me, or I should say that time allowed me to connect more with my older children who are now college age. But I can imagine as a parent, not having to deal with that rush hour is great as it relates to that time connected with your children. Dana, we wanted to allow you to come in and talk about your unique situation, though having 4 children, 2 of them were twins. So what do you want to share as it relates to that unique parenting topic?
For me, having twins was an amazing experience. But I remember, going out in public or speaking to family members, and they always said, "Oh my God, are you overwhelmed? Are you stressed? Do you need help?" And for me, it wasn't. I don't know if it's because I just love being around children because this is what I do on a daily basis. But for me, I think, as they got older and when they became mobile, that became the issue. Like I couldn't go anywhere by myself because they would go in opposite directions. So that was the only thing that I can say that, became a situation where, okay, I needed some assistance. But I really, really enjoyed being a parent of twins. It wasn't hard for me.
That's interesting, Dame, that you say that. And, because you work with children, there's this, I've had conversations with mothers about, do we plan to have them close together? Some people think, oh, have them 2 years apart. Oh, no, have them different ages and stuff like that. I don't know if is there an ideal way, as if we're really in charge of things, right, to space out children? I mean, what do you think? Because what's the gap in your children? What's the gap?
It's about a 10-year difference, I believe. It's about a 10 years difference. Yeah. And so I'll actually share a story that I shared with Mr. Jones was that in my family, my twins are the first living set of twins. Anyone in my family that has given birth to twins, either one died or they both died. So they are the first living twins in my family. So when I was pregnant with them, I really was prayed up about, just giving birth to them. And I actually had them I think like a month early, but they had all their fingers and toes. They didn't have to stay in the hospital or anything. So it was such a blessing.
Amen. Wow. So what about this transition? And we're going to be taking a break in a moment, but so we've talked about children kind of at different ages. What about when we come back from our break, I'm wondering the stage that you're in as a parent, whether you're dealing with the young children or if you guys, how are you feeling about this current stage of wherever you are, and what are you enjoying about it? Because some of our listeners will be able to relate to each one of you at this stage. So we're going to take a break and come back, but that's going to be the question when we come back. What are you enjoying best about whatever stage you're at of motherhood at this particular time? So listeners, this has been Village Talk, where we highlight the views and voices of the community. We are celebrating mothers today, and we look forward to having you join us for the remainder of our show. We'll be right back.
VMP Media is excited to announce the grand opening of Vision and Purpose Lifestyle Magazine and Media, Friday, July 9th, 2021. We are located at 1441 McCormick Drive, Suite 1040 in Largo, Maryland, the new downtown Prince George's County. Book your live stream in-studio show today. You may contact Karen McConnell-Jones at 202-904-1000, Dr. Sharon H. Porter, 240-242-5747, or you may email sales@vmpmagazine.com. We are currently taking appointments. Contact us for details on incentives for reserving your show before the doors open July 9th. VMP Media, inspiring our community.
Wow, Shauna, I just want to be honest in admitting this. I feel, to me, I've had a lot of great moments doing Village Talk with you, but I think this one is the most special.
Of course, there's nothing better than mothers. You're yeah, there's nothing better. I can be a little biased. Dads are okay too. We'll talk about dads in a month or so. Yeah, we have to do that show to find some balance, I guess. But
look, a token show for the dads. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to get into that. But look, special shout out to my mom, who currently is in a nursing home at this time. This will be her first time not being able to celebrate Mother's Day with her family. And I'm planning to go see her tomorrow, but that's another reason why this show is special to me. My mom is special to me, always has been. But to be able to honor mothers on Mother's Day, again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And boy, as I stated before, to have all of you in the same place at any given period, knowing all the responsibilities and duties you have as a wife and a mother and everything else that you're doing as an entrepreneur, how great is it that you can commit this time to be on the show? So thank you so much. I know, Shauna, you had a question you wanted to pose to them.
I'm curious because even though our listeners may not be able to see it, we've got moms here who may have a baby on their hip right now. We're trying to figure out how to cook dinner right now. So we are always balancing different things. I know a couple of us supposed to be on a different Zoom right now. There's so many things going on, but I'm curious about the stage that you're at right now with, whatever age your children are, whether you have the younger ones or whether you've got different ones or older ones. What are you enjoying best about being a mom right now? Who wants to take a stab at that?
I would say for me, what I'm enjoying the most right now are the deeper level of conversations. I was talking to my youngest son is a student athlete. He's always been, he's a 3-sport athlete. And now he's a student athlete in college. And this pandemic has not been kind to him. He's had to struggle, and I'm trying to figure out ways to help him. And my middle one says to me, Mom, you've got to let him fail. Mm-hmm. He has never failed in his life. Mm-hmm. He has started on every sport he's played since he was 5 years old. He has always been academically gifted, and he's finding his first challenges. You've got to let him fail so that he can learn how to overcome. And he won't do that as long as you're going to be there to prop him up. And I was like, wow. And so I learned to take a step back. I listened to my son, and he's going to figure it out on his own, one way or the other.
That's true.
Wow. Look, tough, harsh words from the middle one, but truth, right? And those sometimes are the lessons that we have to learn and help our children learn. Wonderful. Anybody else? What are you loving most about the stage that you're at right now?
So I'll go. This is Jay. I think what Dana B mentioned earlier is that when you're a new parent, I feel like you're so tense. You feel like you need the latest gadgets. But now, like as a third-time mom, I'm like, okay, I can get these brand bottles. I don't need the fanciest stroller. I just know, like, if I love my child, if I'm there, if I'm present, that's all they need, and they're going to be well taken care of. So just the pressure is off at this point.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm in several different stages. I have a middle schooler, and that stage, it's sometimes I want to plug my ears, and not hear everything. She tells me all the time, "Mom, you're weird. You're weird. Whatever I do, whatever I say, I'm just weird, right?" And so I found this something on, I can't remember, on social media somewhere. It says having a weird mom builds character. So every time she says that, I'm like, your character is outstanding, because I'm so weird. On the other hand, I have a junior in college and a freshman. And what I'm enjoying about them is really listening, like Dana said, just to hear them go through the things that they're going through, to figure out their problems, their issues, and to watch them work it out. I'm enjoying that, and it's given me great joy to see the things that all these years you've instilled in them, and it's now coming to pass. And then them coming to you and telling you about it. This is what I did. I had to call my professor. I had to talk to him about this, and doing it on their own. So that gives me great joy. To hear them and just to listen to them jump over those hurdles.
Yeah, absolutely. For us, we are at a turning point with our twins, where they were in college during the pandemic, and one opted not to go back to college. And she just kind of told us that just recently. She spoke to me first, and she said, "Mom, I don't," because we asked her, "Well, when are you going to go back?" And she said, "Well, I'm not going to go back." And so I just looked at her and I said, "Okay, well, why?" And she said that, she just felt like college wasn't for her. And so she models and acts professionally, and she's been doing it for many years. And so, in our family, we believe in education and getting a degree and, all the good stuff. But I realized that, again, college is not for everyone. And so, she knew that she had to speak to her dad. And so just this past weekend, she had an opportunity to speak to her dad. We went on a drive, and she opted to go with us to the store. And so I kind of prepped her dad ahead of time. And so he asked her, "Well, when are you going to go back to college?" She said, "I'm not going back to college." And so again, he really just kind of told her that you really need to kind of go back. And she said, "Dad, I don't want to go back. It's not for me. This is what I want to do." And she kind of laid out a game plan of what she wanted to do. And so he said, "Okay, we'll write it down, and I want you to give it to me. And pretty much as long as you stick to that, it's fine." And so I was really shocked that my husband kind of was fine with it. But I think it was because I kind of, prepped him ahead of time. But just listening to her speak at that time, I was so proud of her, because that's the first time that she actually used her voice. And it made me realize that, okay, I have to kind of take a step back and let her grow up, because she is 20 years old now, and this is her life, and we're just going to be here to support her no matter what she does.
So that makes me want to pose two questions to the panel. So I'm going to pose two separate questions, and I'm going to let the panel choose whatever question they want to answer. The first question is, what are your thoughts? If someone told you you need to allow your child to drive, which is a metaphor for allowing them more decision-making power over what's going on in their life, what are your thoughts about the concept of letting your child, high school age or older, be more the facilitator